Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Redeemed Marriage Podcast. Rusty and Heather Bryant back to talk about marriage again today. And I was noticing the other day that we are getting dangerously close to 200 episodes.
No way.
We should throw a party.
The 200 episode party.
I don't know what it's going to be.
How many do we have?
I don't know. It was like 197 or something. I don't know. It's close.
Wow.
I don't know. We'll have to check it out. But today is not number 200. And so we're going to, let's just jump right in. Let's just talk about what we're going to talk about. Sometimes I wonder if people are like, hey, would y'all just shut up talking and get to the point today?
Nobody's ever told me that.
They haven't told me that either. So maybe they do like, well, let's just chat it up a bit.
Okay, well, you know what I did this morning? Okay, today we're recording.
We were fixed to go straight in, and some people out there were like, yes. And we're not.
Well, because if you're listening to this on the day after it comes out, that means we are recording this on Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to all of you ladies out there who are listening to this and have the joy of being a mom. Happy Mother's Day. It's such a weird day because, like, I just, as I get older, I feel the heaviness of people that maybe have lost their mom or have a bad relationship with their mom. And that's hard. Like that's a hard day to walk through. But so I hope the Lord was gracious with you and that you felt blessed, whether you're a mom or not a mom, whether you have a mom or don't have a mom anymore. I hope that you felt loved on that special day. Also, this morning when I was getting dressed, because if you're on YouTube, you can see my beautiful new necklace that my husband gave me for Mother's Day. And I pulled up YouTube this morning to remember what I wore last week to church.
Oh, that's funny.
I was I really want to wear this sweater, but I'm pretty sure I wore it last week.
The benefits of doing a podcast.
That's right.
You can go back and see what you wore to church the Sunday before.
But I did not wear the same thing today. And
Well, people that are watching me are like, what is that dude doing all dressed up? I don't have a hat on. I don't have a hoodie on. I don't have a T-shirt on.
A button up.
I know, button down. I call it button down.
It's a button up.
No, I button it down. I definitely go down. But my kid got a bunch of new clothes yesterday, and he's leaving in a week for the summer. And so I was like, I better borrow some clothes of his while he's still here. And so I had to sing this morning. I was like, I'm going to look sharp.
Well, you look handsome in your button up.
Thanks. Don't get used to it because I feel a little stiff. Okay. So now, really, back to what we were going to talk about today.
I'm excited about today's title.
Well, that's because we're having fun right now.
That's right.
And we like to have fun together. And we're going to talk about the marriage killer. We're still calling it marriage killers, right?
Yeah, we
are. This is, once again, how you can destroy your marriage. If you are wanting to destroy your marriage, then follow these steps. And so we've done that for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
And I still hate it.
And so today we're just going to say, hey, quit having fun together. If you quit having fun together, you can destroy your marriage.
That's right.
But man, this one I feel so passionate about. And I think that it's because probably some of it is the stage of life that we're in and knowing that if we didn't know how to have a good time and enjoy each other, that we could be really miserable right now because we're in a stage where the kids are gone. I mean, even like this summer, we're going to be neither one of our boys are here. First summer ever that they're not going to be here.
Yeah, like we've never even had a summer with one kid.
Right, that's right. They've both been.
Yeah, both have been here.
But last summer was close because
he
Luke left
in July.
He had to be there 1st of July. So we didn't have them for very long. But you're right. I mean, we've had both of them, and now
every summer.
But I don't know
either.
It doesn't it's an exciting time, but yesterday we had a little bit of time. A little bit of downtime, and we don't normally have downtime.
Yeah.
We stay really, really busy, especially with our marriage ministry and then our real jobs too. But we had some downtime, and I caught myself thinking a couple of times, man, if we were just always bored and didn't enjoy each other, it could get to be really miserable.
Yeah, and not just miserable, like, and I know it was raining. It literally rained all day yesterday. And I have a little, like, for a little bit, I love to sit out on the back porch and watch the rain and enjoy that. But it was a lot yesterday. It rained all day. And I just thought, this is depressing. Like, we got to get up and do something. I have to have a purpose and a reason.
Yeah.
Because it was,
Well, I think that's a big part of it is we have said all along, and we teach this at our conferences and stuff too, but having a purpose for your marriage is so important. And this kind of goes along with knowing how to have fun and keeping fun in your marriage. But I think a part of that is having a shared vision and a shared purpose, because if you have that shared vision and purpose and you're doing stuff together to accomplish that, then you are enjoying life together. You're not just two separate people doing your own thing with your own goals and your own dreams. You're coming together and doing those things together. And so, for us, we really jumped really heavy into this mission and goal of helping marriages together. And that's been a game changer for us. But I think even before that, we had this shared vision and this shared purpose of raising godly boys. And, both of our boys certainly have their faults. We have our faults as well. But there's a lot of you out there that have told us, hey, anytime y'all want to shift and start doing parenting,
it's never going to happen.
But we have had people tell us that before, because our kids, in spite of our mistakes,
That's right,
have turned out to be incredible young men.
And let that be an encouragement to you, in that you can't, like, God is bigger than your screw ups. Like, I think so many times we put so much pressure on ourselves to be the perfect parent and the perfect spouse and I mean, God is there for our failures, and it teaches our children to depend on Him and not us. If we were enough, if we were able to fill every void, to fill every lacking that they feel, then they wouldn't see their need for Christ, because if we were that for them. So I think it's just rest in the fact that you can't screw up your kids. Like, God's bigger than that,
I almost today said, let's take a break from the whole marriage killers thing and let's talk about Mother's Day. But I mean, I know people don't really listen to this nobody's listening to this on Mother's Day. But I felt what you were just saying, how I kind of wanted you to, and maybe this is for another topic sometime, but for you to be able to share, even as bad as we got it, and as bad as things happened 13 years ago, like, our kids are still our story, and the way that we recovered and redeemed our marriage and stuff, like, that's so much a part of their story as well, which we've had our kids on here. They've done they've done interviews with us and stuff. But I don't know. I thought about that just from a mom's perspective, because I think that there's probably lots of moms out there that are just thinking, I'm a big old screw up and I've done permanent damage to my kids. And here it is on Mother's Day and I feel like a failure.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be that way, because like what you said, God is so much bigger than even our failures and our screw-ups.
Well, and just resting in the fact that God is, like, in my journey of the big screw-up that I was and still get things wrong all the time, in spite of that, God's after my heart in all of that. Like, in my screw-ups, He was after my heart. In my failures, He's after my heart. He's trying to show me my desperate need for Him and how much better it is to do things with Him. And He does the exact same thing with our kids. That even when mom messes up, like, if you're a mom listening to this, when you mess up, it is just that much more of a spotlight on their need for Christ. And I cannot say that enough, because I know that. Like, it's funny because I know the truths to tell myself over and over again. I jokingly say to people all the time, not so much joking, I have to preach the gospel to myself every day because I have to remind myself of those truths, because the enemy wants nothing more than for me to think I'm a failure and for me to think that my sin, my big, public, huge 13-year ago sin was enough to destroy my boy's belief in marriage, my boy's belief in God, but that's not truth. But that's what the enemy wants me to think. He wants me to think, he wants to derail me in those thoughts all the time. But I have learned to be able to stand firm and say, get away from me. That is not truth. What is truth is that my God is big. And that there might be some little battles along the way that I've lost, but that God's going to win this war for their hearts and for their minds and for their souls. And I know that there are women out there who thinking, yeah, but that's not my story right now. My kids are still off the path, or my kids are still the prodigal, or whatever that looks like. But it's nothing that we have caused, because it is part of their story and part of their journey in their relationship with the Lord. And so just trusting God with them and just saying, God, I know I'm owning the role that I played in their story. I'm not saying, oh, it doesn't matter. It does. What I did was damaging, even though they were in kindergarten and fourth grade and they don't have much memory of it. It was still damaging. And there's still parts that, I mean, you know, they're as both of them think about getting married and all of those things, I, you know, it's real easy for me to go, gosh, have I given them enough of a good picture of what marriage is supposed to be like, even in the turmoil, you know? And so there's lots of things that the enemy tries to bring up in my mind. And I'm like, no. That God has got this. He's got them. He's got me. He's got our family. And so if you're losing hope in that today, like, just take comfort in the fact that you have to live open-handedly with your children, and you give them to God every day. Every day you're like, Jesus, I know, God, I know that you love them even more than I can possibly dream or imagine. Like, to think about somebody loving my children, Luke and Logan, more than I do, I'm like, it's not possible. But it is, because he loves them more than I can even imagine. And so because he loves them more, he's got them. I mean, he's got them in the palm of his hand. And I just have to trust him with them and just pray for their hearts every day to surrender. And so if you are in that season as a mom and you're like, it doesn't look like what I thought it was going to look like, trust God with them. Pray for them on a daily, if not more, basis, where you're just saying, God, I trust you with them, and I'm asking you to capture their hearts. And then rest in that.
Yep. And I know that our actions and our decisions, they certainly have consequences, and they certainly have effects. But I love what actually Logan's girlfriend said yesterday when we were talking about something completely different. But she made a comment, and she said, you know, that we don't have that much power.
That's right.
Like, for anybody to think that I have so much power that I could screw up my kids.
Their story.
Yeah. That's saying that we're bigger than God, and we're not.
That's right.
So just to take that perspective and think of it that way, just to know that, hey, God's bigger than the things that you've done, that you think you've ruined everything.
That's right. And she was saying, like, in the topic that we were talking about, she was saying how we can look down the line and think, if we had not done that, then maybe this would have happened.
Right.
And if we had not brought that, then what if this had happened? And you kind of start moving puzzle pieces in your mind. But what she was saying is, like, God even uses those things way down the line in other people's lives now. And so there's this tapestry. Like, I think about a tapestry, like a beautiful rug or, cloth design that's so pretty on one side, but when you flip it over on the other and there's all these woven together colors and where it overlaps and you tied off this color and made, but that's what our lives look like. Like you flip it over and it's like everybody intertwines and how that my decision affected that and God used that in that person's life and then God used that in my children's life to then touch the girlfriends' lives who then touch their friends' lives. And, I can look at people that Luke and Logan have led to the Lord and think like even them living through some brokenness of their mom made them more eager and more accepting of people who are a mess because they're like, I've seen a mess and I know that God can still redeem that. So I'm way open to you in your mess because I've walked through it. So I don't know. That was so wise of her to be like, we can't mess up. And it was just a reminder that we're not powerful enough to derail the hand of God.
That's right. So for those of you who are out there thinking, when are y'all going to talk about having fun together?
That's right. Here we go.
Here we go. We are right now. I don't know. That was important and somebody needed to hear that. So when I think about how marriages start to deteriorate, I do think that one of the big things is that they just quit having a good time together and quit enjoying each other. And, when you go all the way back to marriage and when you got married and why you got married, even the dating period and
right.
All of that, you do that because you have fun with the person.
That's right. And you never would have married the person if you didn't have fun together.
Yeah.
Like that's part of dating. And because nobody dates and goes, this person is miserable, I think I'll marry him.
Right.
I mean, you had fun.
And if that did happen, then that's your own fault.
That's right. No. That's right. But I can remember, like Rusty, I look back at our dating, because we dated for 7 years. For those of you who do not know that.
7 years.
Yeah. Our child that's been dating 3 and whang about it, I'm like, hush, we dated 7. But like we dated for 7 years. When I was in 9th grade and Rusty was in 10th, we started dating. And of course we had fun together in those youth group days, and because we were kids, we were children. We were literal babies.
We were children.
We were children when we met. We were
fun.
still children when we married.
We had fun. Could you? Yes. I was trying to think. You just barely could drive.
When we got married?
Not married. Oh. Good grief. When we started.
Sorry. No,
You had just gotten your...
What month did we start dating in? March. And I got my license in November.
Yeah. Because back then...
You could get it at 15.
What
I don't know.
were they thinking?
I don't know. Those people are dumb. 16's even young to me now. But
yeah, that's how, we were like all those stages of life we were there for, and we had so much fun. We went to a gazillion dances together in high school, college. And
I know some of you are thinking, but my spouse is not fun. Like, I'm not bragging on, okay, I am bragging on you, but you're hilarious.
I am hilarious.
You are. Like,
You want me to tell a joke?
No, please don't, because then that's not hilarious. But like sometimes, like I just laugh at you all the time. Like all the time. You're just funny. But here's the thing. You can still have fun together, even if your spouse is not funny.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like enjoy. I think a lot of times, I do. I'm just going to be honest. A lot of times I think having fun together means we sat around and laughed all the time. Like I never leave a family function, either our 4 family plus girlfriends, just our 4 family, or even like the bacon side, like where I'm not doubled over like laughing, because we have that kind of fun together. But that doesn't have to be it.
No.
It can be just enjoying each other's company and having fun doing things that you enjoy doing. So I don't want you to get stuck on laughter.
But so much of that is being intentional, because when you were pursuing each other before marriage, you were doing things that were very intentional to try to woo the other person and to try to win their heart. And so all of those things that you did then, yes, the the things you like, the things you enjoy, all those things change, you mature. Yes, all of that happens, but that doesn't change the fact that you're still pursuing your spouse and you're still trying to win their heart over and over
Right.
again. And so much of that is it's being intentional. It's enjoying each other's company. That doesn't mean that you're, doing stand-up comedy for each
Right.
other all the time, but it's enjoying each other's company, and it's enjoying being together and having fun. And sometimes that sometimes means adventures, risks, doing things that are a little bit out of the ordinary, but it's like, man, that made me feel like we were kids again, or made it feel fun again. And all of that is so important in marriage, and to keep your marriage from dying.
Right. Right. The other thing that I was thinking about is a lot of people listening don't have a lot in common that they do together. And I think that's okay too if you're still intentional about spending time together and even sharing about your loves and desires. I feel like some people we meet with or that reach out to us, they have different interests. Like maybe, I'm not going to try to guess, but one's interested in one thing and one is interested in something completely different, and not just interested, but passionate about. Like, this is my passion and this is your passion, and that's okay. God created you with those passions. But there's also a time that you need to be very purposeful in coming together and talking about your passions, talking about God, where God's taking you on that journey with those, and asking how you can be involved in each other's different passions, because that's super important.
Yeah.
You said stand-up comedy. Can you imagine being married to Nate Bargatze?
I wonder, maybe he's not even funny at home.
You think? I bet he is.
No.
He's so quick on his feet that
Oh, yeah.
he, like in those Saturday Night Live things,
Yeah,
and those,
he's funny.
he's really, and I just wonder, he has a daughter, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just wonder if she
just laughs
laughs all the time, or if they're like, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, stop with the dad jokes. I mean, literal dad jokes.
But I don't know. I thought about that one day. I don't know why. I was listening to him stand-up thing, and you talk about him all the time, and I was just like, I wonder what it's like to be married to him. If he's really that funny, or if he's just really not that funny.
Okay.
Maybe we could talk to his wife.
Maybe. Okay, so I have questions.
Okay.
So my question is this. Like, if somebody out there, I think that we get a little bit, this is why marriages die, because we get to this place and we go, well, wait, do we have fun together? Like, I don't even know what that means anymore. Like, I don't think that's a dumb statement. I think that there's a lot of people that try to think back and they're like, well, yeah, we had a good time when we were dating, but we went and did activities together. We went on a lot of dates because that was the only time we could see each other. We made out a lot, we did a lot of kissing, but then we start thinking, we're like, well, wait, we don't do those things anymore. So how do we, what does that even mean? Well, how do we have fun? So my question to you is, how do we have fun together? Can you tell our listeners how we have fun together? Maybe that gives, oh, yeah, okay, well, we can do that. Or, yeah, we do that. We do that. We do have fun together.
Well, I love to play games, and I know that's like, okay, yeah, you just went there, but I do. I love to play games. Like, I love to play card games, and those are lots of fun for me. We go on walks together, and I think those are really fun. Because we just talk, and we, that is a time where we laugh, and but then sometimes we pray, and sometimes we cry, and sometimes, but they're still fun because we're together. We love to do things. Like, we love to go, I love to go bowling or to the movies, or, things that we actually have an activity. When we go to a certain place in Atlanta, we love to ride four-wheelers
Yeah,
and
we do.
fish.
Yeah,
That's
we do.
fun. So, I'm just going down the activity trail. I have said several times that we need to pick up not paddleboard. What's the name of that game?
Pickleball?
Pickleball. We need to pick up pickleball. If you are listening and you live near us.
Hey, baby, let's pick up some pickleball. Pick up pickleball.
You want to play pickleball with us? Please invite us because I think that would be so fun. And our little town is fixing to get brand new pickleball courts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So something like that would be fun. Also, let me tell this. I hope our pastor's not listening to this right now. But our pastor on Mother's Day, his topic was sex.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, Chip, I hear you.
Yeah, so let me jump in. Don't forget what you were going to say. Today, you said, and you weren't being negative. You just said, I can't, and like.
No, I didn't say I can't believe. I said that was an interesting.
That was an interesting Mother's Day
topic for Mother's Day.
Yes, and I want to say this. I mean, I agree, and I think most people would probably, everybody probably would say that was interesting that he chose that on Mother's Day.
It was such a good word.
But here's what here's what I love about it. I believe that our pastor is very much led by the Spirit, and I think that the Spirit prompted him to do that, and it would have been so much easier for him to go, I'm not doing that on Mother's Day, because there's going to be moms there that maybe it's going to be a hard subject, or there's people that are there hurting. It's not a good day to talk about that, or visitors because it's Mother's Day. They're bringing their family.
And they're talking about sex.
But he was like, this is what I'm feeling led to do. And I'm going to tell you, I stood up, I sang today, so I was on platform, and there were more people in tears today than I've seen in a long time at church. Now, they may have been like, I'm crying because I can't believe I came to church on this Sunday and had to listen to sex. But I don't believe that's what it was. I know that there's so much hurt and so much pain, and people won't talk about it.
That's right.
And he talked about it, and he talked about it on a day that probably nobody else would talk about it.
That's right.
On that day.
That's right.
So
yep.
Anyway.
But my point in saying that was that even though I was like, it was such a good word that he needed to preach, that I needed to hear. Everyone needed to hear. It was such a good word. But it reminded me that sex is supposed to be fun. Like that is a fun activity that you can do with your spouse. And we laugh sometimes. We laugh a lot. I 100% know I've never said this on our podcast.
Wait, are we going to get edited from certain things?
No, but so Rusty and I both were virgins when we got married, and we laughed.
I think you have.
There's no way.
We've said that
Really?
before.
Okay, well, I'll say it again. We laughed the entire first night because we were like,
What are we
doing? And this is not hard. Like there is only one way that this can work. But it was still hilarious. And I think back to that night and just how funny. And I just think that sometimes it's so serious and there's so much pressure for it to be passionate and perfect. And, there's just too much pressure or it feels like a chore. Instead of just, this is such a great way just to have fun together and to laugh. And if you just communicate and keep it light and keep it fun and keep it exciting, then and if we can say that after the hurt that we've been through in this area and we can still have so much fun with it, then you can have fun with it.
Yeah.
And it can be a source of joy, and it can be exactly what we're talking about, having fun with your spouse.
Yeah. You mentioned a lot of activities and things that we like to do together, and yes, having fun together is doing things. But I think, some of the things that I thought about was I love, like, we flirt. And that's just one of the that makes me laugh, I think, more than anything is when you flirt with me. Like, that's something that's fun. And no, I'm not laughing at your flirting abilities.
I'm asking, how do I flirt? Like, what do you like?
What do I like when you flirt?
Yeah.
Oh, when you say things or you make little jokes that are suggestive sometimes and it's just funny. And then, or, even when, I don't know, you'll say things like, and even physically like touching. I'm not going there right now, but just like things that you can say and joke. And I think about like Craig Rochelle, when one of our pastors that we love, when he talks about how guys can make a sexual joke out of anything, like, "Hey babe, can you come in here and stir the pot?"
The girl says,
"Hey babe, can you come in here and stir the pot for me?" "I'll stir your pot," And like every now and then though, you'll pull something out like that, and I'm like, "Oh, that's funny, right?"
Yeah,
That's like, and that just makes me feel so good. But just doing that kind of thing, and I even think, like, I've gotten better. You may not think that, but when I flirt with you, like, it's not always because, okay, I'm going to flirt now because I hope we get to have sex if I flirt with you. It's just, I'm just trying to have fun.
Yeah. And that's big, because there have been times in our marriage where I knew if you flirted with me at 8 a.m., you were turning on the crock pot hoping I'd be ready by dinner.
Right.
But instead, it's just, I love you. And I want you to feel special, so I'm flirting.
Yep.
And that's nice. And honestly, listen to this. And
I'm listening.
And ladies, you may agree with me, or you may go, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard." It is more attractive to me when you flirt with me with no expectation than it is when I know you're flirting just because you want something.
I know that.
Because when you just flirt to be flirting, there's not this pressure, and there's not this, great, he's just doing that because he wants something. He genuinely is flirting with me because he likes me, and that's more attractive.
I know that. And
do you?
Yeah, I do know that, and that's why I'm so good at it.
I'm like, how do you know that? I just put words to it for the first time ever.
So some of the other things that I thought about real quick as we're wrapping up, I thought about how we love traveling together. I mean, we love going and seeing new places and new things. We're not scared of anything. We sat back and thought about last year, 2024, and all of the things and the adventures that we did and the places we traveled. And it was like, wow, we lived a lifetime during 2024, and it was so much fun. So that's a big one. And then, of course, you mentioned just activities. We love doing activities and things together. But I think about even how we join in helping each other, even if you talked about how we have different interests, or people could have different interests, but still enjoy. And like the other night, I mean, I came up and helped you at the book fair, and oh my goodness, book fair, there's nothing interesting about the book fair or fun about the book fair, but you love it. I mean, and that's part of your job too, but I came up there to help because we were together, and we were putting books up, and we were putting stickers on the thing and all that. So that's another part. And then, I thought about how it doesn't have to always be, hey, let's go, we got to go on a date because we got to keep this romance going. We got to keep having fun. Let's make ourselves have fun. But like, we even just enjoy the same TV shows, and we're very purposeful and intentional about that. Like, if there's something we start watching and one of us doesn't really care for it, we usually just kind of quit watching it. We make sure that it's something that we both enjoy. So when we're eating dinner, a lot of times we'll turn on a show because we enjoy it and we laugh together, and it's the same type show that we like. And so there's just a lot of different ways. But the bottom line is that you have to actually do something. It's action. You have to put effort into it, because you don't just have fun without trying.
That's right.
You have to try to have fun. So try this week. Have fun.
Yeah.
All right. Are we done?
We're done. Sorry, we went long today, guys.
It's okay. We had that little intermission where we talked about something that was completely off topic, but then we wrapped it up with the topic. So, all right. Hey, guys, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Peace.